Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Guys, we got a great stream ahead of us this morning. We're taking the probably one of the best, if not the best, add-on aircraft in Xplane 11 up today, the 737-200 from FlyJ Sim. Real quick, I wanted to shout out to Albert Delgadillo for Super Chat, $2. He says, this takes me back. Absolutely, it does, man. We are going back in time, old school. I want to just kind of preface this video saying that obviously I'm not typed in the 737-200, so I am not a know-it-all by any means on this aircraft. However, I'm familiar with, quite a bit of its systems, the JT8D engines, and how Boeing's, you kind of work in general. So I am familiar with it. I tend to fly with or tend to use the default checklist that comes with FlyJ Sim. Seems to work pretty well. But yeah, this is a great aircraft, a great add-on. If you're looking for a Boeing, you need to really look into the FlyJ Sim products. Somebody in the last stream said, I dare you to stream the Zibo mod. And I was thinking, well, I could do the Zibo mod, but I think the 737-200 separates the men from the boys. I mean, the NG version of the 73 is fun to fly and all, but there's nothing like going old school retro with the 737-200. So let's jump into it here, guys. And we are going to be using Siva today, as well as VOR navigation. So it's going to be a little bit slower getting off the gate here. I got to get all these coordinates put in. So let's jump right into it and let's get this aircraft fired up. So we're going to go ahead and get the batteries on. And we are also going to get the APU running. That way we can control the temperature of the cabin. We are in Phoenix, Arizona, Papa Hotel X-Ray. It is going to be a little bit toasty out there. And let's go ahead and listen to this APU fire up. The sounds on FlyJ Sim are second to none. I mean, definitely the best sounding airplane in Xplane 11, right there with the Flight Factor 320 with BSS sound pack. Gotta love it. Hopefully, Pilot Edge will allow us to use our retro call sign. We're going to be going as Cactus 922, the old school America West aircraft. I used to fly this route as a kid a lot, going to see my grandparents. So figured I'd hop back in time here, get on a 737-200. We're going to fly to San Jose, California. Let's get the APU gen online, get the flight attendants some galley power for now. We don't really need any lighting in here. Definitely want to get the packs on, APU bleed on. We can open that, get some pressure on it. We'll turn the Gasper fans on as well and get the cabin cool. I know it's toasty outside. Got our lights test, everything looks good. That looks good. The FDR event, airspeed warning is good. And that's what I want to do. APU gen, we've got everything looking good there. Cruise altitude is going to be, oh boy, I think I filed 32. Alright, so that looks good. So, if you're unfamiliar with Siva, I did some rebinding here, so basically the INS needs some time to warm up and align, so we're going to go ahead and do that first. That way, as we continue with the rest of our checks and get on with ground, we will be just fine. I also got Avi-tab running here a little bit. The problem, guys, is so my Jeppesen viewer, my Jep charts that I use, for some reason when I export them, they become watermarked. I guess Jeppesen doesn't want me to use them, so I'm probably going to end up getting a Navigraph subscription so we can use Jeppesen charts. If you're unfamiliar with these charts, these are, I think we call them NACA charts, or I forget what the actual name is. But in the United States, all charts are published free of charge, and these are the charts that you would get, and anybody can use them. They're up to date, current, It's when you start working for companies that pay for your charts, you will have most likely Jeppesen. But these work just as fine. So we're going to use a combination of this. I've got some charts on my iPad and my actual work iPad that I'm going to need to use for coordinate information. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started. So on our CIVA INS here, we're going to move it into standby. We're going to come over here, desired track and status. We have 0 and poor tolerance. I can't think of the word, but yeah, 9.5 is what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and come back into position. And now we need to align our aircraft position. We're sitting at gate Bravo 22. So when you align your position, guys, you can't just use coordinates for your airport. You actually got to be looking at the gate. So my Jeppesen charts actually show me Bravo 22, which it's right over here in, I think it's Terminal 4 we're sitting on. Yeah, we're sitting on Terminal 4, Bravo 22. So I actually have the coordinates. I'm going to go ahead and put them in right now. We're going to go north 3326.2. Insert that, followed by west 111.59.7. Insert that. And now we can go ahead and press the align. As we come to desired track status, this is going to go ahead and start reducing down and getting better. Man, I'm going to think of the word. I know what this is called. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Maybe you guys know in the comments. But your tolerance, your navigation accuracy. That's accuracy. So we need to get down below, I believe 5 is acceptable, or 4, but we're going to take it all the way down to 0. We're going to get maximum navigation ability. Also, we need to look at our radios and get our radio set up. So we're going to be taking off from Phoenix. We're going to be doing the Buckeye 4 departure procedure today. Here it is. All right. Captain Kringle says, wow, Sun's Delivery, cool stuff. Is Charles Barkley in the cabin? I don't know. We're going to find out. Hey, how you doing, JJ? JJ, good to have you here. I'm doing good. Rutnut6, hello, Captain. Captain Tom from the Discord. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Glad to have you here. Carta Jowal. Navigraph also give you parking nav locations. Right, yeah, I am familiar with that. I'm actually using like my Jeppesen charts for my job. So my work iPad is sitting next to me, and I have the coordinates. But I just didn't have the coordinates for the gate on the free charts online. So that's the only reason why I don't have those up here. Let's go ahead and get the ATIS. It's going to be 2757.
Way assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Tango.
Wow, that's really loud.
Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. ATIS information Tango. 1551 Zulu. Wind 080 at 5. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 16,000. Ceiling 19,000 broken. 25,000 broken. Temperature 38. Dew point 8. Altimeter 2983. Arriving runways 7 right. 8. Departing runways 7 left. 8. Visual images in use. ILS runway 7 right at ILS runway.
Yeah, they're taking off 8. That sucks.
Simultaneous approaches to parallel runways in use. VFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, if flight fall.
Alright, we don't need that anymore. .118.1 for clearance. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and look into that. Let's go make sure our Siva is... Oops, that's the wrong view. Let's go ahead and get these open, by the way. I'm sorry, guys. I'm jumping around the cabin here. There we go. I rearranged my view settings, so I'm still looking for the right keys. Okay, this should be starting to tick down here. Still at 9.5. It will depend on your distance from the equator. Could be about 8 minutes. that's inserted correctly. We are in align mode. Maybe it's warming up. We are on APU power, correct? Yes, we are. All right, so we have that all set up. Let's go ahead and look at our nav radios. So coming off of runway 8, we're going to be departing this way, so we're going to get radar vectored. Essentially, we're going to have to fly heading 080. So let's go ahead and dial that in here. The key to flying this FlyJ Sim, guys, is you really got to set up on the ground before you move the aircraft. You really got to have everything set up. If you take the airplane somewhere where your mind has not been about a minute before, maybe even 3 minutes, you're going to get in trouble real fast. You have to stay ahead of the airplane. What was the altimeter? 2983. All right, let's see. Did I download the narrative? I don't know if I downloaded the narrative for Buckeye 4. I did not. That's okay. Let me just pull this up here. So according to the chart on the narrative page, which is just the, it tells you in text what you're going to do off runway 8, we're going to climb on heading 078 to 1,550 feet, then a right turn, climbing heading 080 at 4 miles east of Phoenix, VOR.
Damage at 850, holds for 10 right.
At 4 miles east of Phoenix, VOR, climbing right turn heading 100, expect radar vectors to Buckeye. So we're going to have radar vectors to Buckeye, so let's go ahead and get that in the nav radio here. We know Phoenix is going to be 15.6. Buckeye is going to be 110.6. We're going to put that into standby, ready to go. And I also want to get
Reset the transponder.
DME from Buckeye right now, so we'll put that in there, and then put this here. All right, so we've got Phoenix 15.6 active. We have Buckeye 110.6 active in the secondary. So we have DME from Buckeye, 42 miles, distance from Phoenix. Our Siva is counting down. That's good. Let's go ahead and get a clearance delivery from... Let's go ahead and get our clearance from clearance delivery. We're on 18.1. We are. Good morning, clearance. Cactus 922 IFR to San Jose.
Phoenix clearance, a couple of questions. I see your aircraft type is just 737. That's not a valid aircraft type per FAA standards. So I need to know what kind of aircraft type you actually do have.
It's a 737-200. I'm sorry, I thought that was in there.
Cactus 92, roger. That's going to be a Bravo 732, not 737. I'll fix that for you. Your clearance on request.
Roger that. Thank you, sir. That was my fault. I swear, guys, I'm going to figure out how to become... I'm going to get my dispatching license before too far. NASA 6, actually it is called Desired Performance. Yes. Oh gosh, I'm going to find the right button here. Yeah, Desired Performance. Thank you. That's what we're looking for here on the Siva. Desired Performance. Captain Kringle says, V1 Sim, how did you learn to fly this aircraft? Well, I've flown a lot of aircraft that are very similar. I wouldn't say similar to the 737, but I mean, it's kind of like, you know, back in the day, everything was pretty much standard. I mean, you didn't have different types of FMS, and you didn't have different types of glass you had to read. Everything was standard. I mean, the altimeters, HSI, bearing pointers, everything was pretty standard. So I've flown a lot of aircraft, like Metroliners and stuff, where you had a lot of the same symbology that you would find across the board in aircraft of that era. Now, obviously, I haven't flown the 737-200, so, you know, getting used to the autopilot panel and stuff was a little bit of a challenge. But, I mean, once you fly one 737, you've pretty much flown them all, especially the overhead panel. I did spend a lot of time in the NGX on PMDG on FSX days, but that's kind of why I haven't even really got into the Zibo mod just because I'm kind of burnt out on the NGX. It's a cool plane.
Cactus 920 clear to San Jose Airport, Buckeye for departure, Palmdale transition, NS filed. Climb and maintain 8,000. Departure frequency 119.2, squawk 2724.
All right, we're cleared to San Jose Airport, Buckeye for departure, Palmdale transition as filed. Climb, maintain 8,000. Departures 19.2, squawking 2724 for Cactus 922.
Cactus 920 to back correct.
All right, so we are as filed, guys. So let's go ahead and come back down to our nav radios and just double check. So 15.6 is Phoenix, then Buckeye, and then we're going to the Palmdale transition. So if you look at the chart here, we're actually going to be, we're coming off runway 8. I was hoping we'd be able to take off 26. We're going to be on 8. It's going to be heading 100. They're going to give us radar vectors to Buckeye. Once we arrive on Buckeye, the Palmdale transition is, I actually filed us Victor 1-6 to Palmdale, so we're going to track outbound 262 to Blythe and then up to Palmdale. So this departure procedure is quite a long one. It takes us all the way out here, and we're going to go ahead and fly along in that. I'm not going to do any map overlays or anything like that because that's kind of cheating. If you're flying the 737-200, man, you got to go old school and keep it old school. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Siva. We're at 2.5 there. That's good. Let's go ahead. Initial altitude is 8,000 feet. Our squawk is going to be 2724. And when we get going, guys, I apologize if I missed a lot of comments because, like I said, this aircraft will eat you alive if you get behind. So, also, one other thing that's really cool about the FlyJ Sim series, guys, is the everything is modeled to wear. So your lights can burn out. So doing fire tests and everything is actually a good idea because you want to make sure everything is looking good. Let's go ahead and make sure we got our fire bells and whistles there. That looks good. So it gives you purpose. That's why you guys saw me testing the system up here. We've got our flaps, and I tested the stall warning, overspeed, and things, and flight recorder, and such. You want to test that because in this aircraft, it can actually burn out on you, and you'll be like, why am I not getting any lights, or why is it not working? It might just be something as simple as the bulb is burnt out. So that is why it's very important to do your pre-flight checks, and another reason why I love this aircraft. It gives you purpose. You don't just hop into a random airplane and it's brand new. Got a super chat coming in. Captain Geo, how's it going, buddy? Was able to get 2 firm landings, 233 and 217 and 38 feet above threshold in the 319. Thank you, shout out to you and Xplane 1972 and HD Sim. Oh man, awesome. Glad you're getting those landings down. Obviously a lot better than I'm doing right now. I'm kind of in a landing rut, so I don't really have any more excuses for you guys. I'm in a landing rut right now, guys. I got to get out of it. Got to get better. So that's awesome, Gio. I'm glad that you are you're getting those landings down. All right, let's go ahead and do a quick checklist here. Also, I mean, you guys, everything on here is pretty much stock. This is how the aircraft comes out of the box. It is fantastic. All right, batteries on. We don't have ground power. We checked our stall warning. Emergency lights are armed. Passenger signs, let's go ahead and get those on now. Window heat is coming on. Radio radar transponder is set. Parking brake is set. APU, we've already started that. So for engine start, we're going to go ahead and go through that flow. But right now, let's go ahead and make sure everything else is ready. Oh, you know what? Oops, I keep going the wrong view. Now we need to input our waypoints, guys. So we are ready. So here we go. Waypoint 1. We're going to input the waypoints of our flight plan, but we can't put every single waypoint in there because you can only take 9, I believe it's 9 waypoints. So I'm going to input the VORs as our waypoints so we can cross-reference, and then if we have time, we can actually do a DME update, cross-check, all that fun stuff. But right now, let me go ahead and pull up the waypoints for our route of flight. So our first one is going to be a Buckeye VOR, which is going to be north 33272. Insert, followed by west 112494. Insert that. Now we're going to switch to waypoint 2. And I'm getting these coordinates, guys, if you are looking for the proper format, because it only takes decimal minutes, or no, degrees, minutes, seconds, I think is the format. It won't take, or decimal degrees. The proper format for these waypoints are listed on skyvector.com. If you go to skyvector.com and you put in your flight plan and then you press navlog, it will give you the waypoints in their lat long that is in the proper format for your CIVA. So our next waypoint we're going to put in is Blythe, which is 117.4, which is north 33.35.7. Insert, followed by west 114.456. Insert that. Our next waypoint is going to be PMD, or Palmdale Transition, which is north 34.37.8. Insert, followed by west 118.03.8. Insert that. Waypoint 4 will be Avenal, or Alpha Victor Echo, which is actually the beginning of our arrival into San Jose. It's going to be north 35.38.8. Insert that, followed by west 119er.
Gavage 850, Type Oakland Center
587.
12.7.
Insert that. Waypoint 5 is Salinas, north 36.39er. Decimal 8. Insert west 121.36.1. Alright, and now waypoint 6, and I'm going to make a note of this on my notepad here.
Good morning, climb and maintain.
It's going to be the destination. So our destination, San Jose, is located at north 37.21.7. Insert, followed by its west coordinate of 121.55.7. Insert that. Perfect. Desired track status is zeroed out. We go into nav mode. Perfect. Distance time to waypoint 1 should be, it's showing 41 miles. Waypoint 1 was Buckeye, which is this VOR here. We have tuned in the secondary, which you can see 42 DME over here, so that matches up. We are good to go, guys. Let's go ahead and do a flow here, start closing up the doors, and get the aircraft ready for a push and start. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the galley power. Window heats are coming on. We'll go ahead and turn the packs off. We have start pressure. Get our fuel pumps on. The anti-collision light can come on. And now let's make a pre-planned pushback. That's exactly where I want to go. Now exactly, if you call this, if you press and hold the ground call push button, guys,
Ground to cockpit.
here they come.
Is driving up.
So better pushback will come at you if you have the plug-in. You just press the ground controller. Really cool. Here they come there. Let's go ahead and do a checklist. All right, doors are closed, and oh wait, do we have enough fuel? Wait, we need to get some gas. Holy smokes, guys. I totally forgot to put gas on the airplane. We're gonna fill up the center tank here. Total fuel.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
There we go. 19,000 pounds of gas. That looks good. All right. Holy smokes. Didn't want to leave the fuel. All right. Engine start. Beacons on. Galley power's off. Packs are off. Bleed is 30 PSI. Engine bleed valves are open. We are ready to connect. Let's take a look at our transponder here. We go ahead and put it into altitude reporting on. Set our trim. If you just click that little green spot, it will set your trim. Here's our speed reference card. We're going to do a flaps 5 takeoff. Let me actually reset that. That looks good. 132, 34, 39. Retract at 54 and 90.
And bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, brakes released. Clear push.
Starting pushback, and you may start engine.
Carda J Wall says, yeah, first time I flew the 732 FlyJ Sim, it blew me away. I did a short flight from Heathrow to Paris, and it was up and down, and it's hard. It's constant work, no moment to stop. Yep, it is constant work, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. If you use Siva, you need to switch to GPS Siva close to your first waypoint and switch back to nav heading close to your last point. Yeah, I'll show you how we're going to operate the Siva today, guys. We're going to be technically, the aircraft is going to be tracking VOR to VOR or via Victor Airways, but we're going to be using Siva to back up our work and make sure we're going the right direction here. Which says if I could sim, I'd use PE for sure. Absolutely, man. Pilot Edge is great. JJ says, why in planes auto mode for seatbelts and no smoking? That just depends on your operator. Some will have auto, some require you to turn on or off. For where we work, we got to use on and off. We don't use auto, so it kind of depends on where you work at.
Set parking brake.
All right, brakes are set. Clear disconnect. Show me the pin.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Does a flight plan and sim brief do the same exact thing? I do not know, Captain Kringos. If you're referring to the waypoints, I don't know if SimBrief uses the correct format. Carter says it's usually the next column to the list of waypoints on SimBrief. So, yeah, I'm not too familiar. All right, it's getting hot in the cabin, guys. Let's go ahead and do a start. We've got our start pressure 30 psi. Galley power is off. Let's go ahead and turn engine number 2.
Temperature 8 contact Los Angeles Center 135.
15% or max motoring. We go ahead.
See you next time, and have
Oh,
a great
man.
flight.
Just listen to those engines, man. Man, that sounds good. I'd love to stay outside and watch, but in this airplane, you can have hot starts, hung starts. You really got to pay attention. Low oil pressure goes out. We're go ahead and good to start the next engine. Starting engine number 1. You can switch over the valve as soon as you get that low oil pressure extinguished. Here comes 10% N2. 15% to max motoring. We go ahead and introduce fuel. There goes engine. Oh, and there's the light off. ITT is rising. Everything's looking good. Fuel flows are good. Here in the end, 1 is spinning up. Low oil pressure extinguish. ITT rollback. Okay, we got a good start on engine number 2. Let's go ahead and get the generators online. Hydraulics. Galley power on. Let's go ahead and check our generators. Gen 1. Gen 2 is looking good. I'm going to keep that on Gen 1. TR3, 2, and 1 are looking good. We'll keep those. I think I'll keep it on battery for now. Let's go ahead and get those packs back on. It's hot in Phoenix. We'll turn the APU bleed off, put that back into auto. I think I should have closed the Gasper fan for engine start. but hopefully nobody's going to get fumed out. What was our cruise altitude? I just verify. He cleared us 8,000. I believe it was 32. We'll keep it there. Landing altitude in San Jose is 100 feet. So our pressurization panel is set. You want to make sure that you have your flight altitude, your landing altitude set. Actually, let's take a quick look at San Jose just to make sure our field elevation is 62 feet. So we can actually go ahead and decrease this. Let's put it at 50 feet. Perfect. This goes to ignition flight. We can kill the APU. We're doing a flaps 5 takeoff. Guys, I want you to hear the flap sounds on this airplane. It is amazing. It actually simulates the whine of the motors. You see how it fades out like that? That is so iconic of these old flat motors, and it does it for each notch of flaps that you do, which it blows my mind. I don't know how they programmed it, but some of the best flap sounds in Xplane. Alright, we are flaps 5, trim is set. Let's do this checklist and get on our way. We'll call ground here. Before start, anti-ice on is required. PO heat is on. Flight instruments are set for departure. Let's just verify I did turn those on. Yep. Flight instruments are set for departure. Flight controls are checked. Speed brake down. Stab trim is set. Flaps 5 set for takeoff. Galley power is on. Electrical, we are lights out. Fuel heater is off. Hydraulic pressure and quantity. Definitely want to check these guys. I've run out. Here's our quantity is looking good. Your quantity does... Oh, that's your oil quantity. Let's look at the right gauge. Okay, here we go. Hydraulic quantity, US gallons, pressure, everything is looking good there. You got to check this stuff if you fly the 73200 with maintenance, because you will run out and then you will have problems. Matter of fact, I'll tell you guys about a story that real quick that I did yesterday from this airplane. APU is required, it's off. Pressure set for cruise altitude, flight ground, ignition to flight. EPR and airspeed bugs are set. So the EPR, or the EPR, engine pressure ratio for takeoff, is going to be 2.04. We have 2.04 set. So that looks good. We're going to go ahead and get on with ground control. Which is going to be... We're on the north side, 1975. And then tower frequency. Always want to tune these in before you go, guys. We're going to go off runway 8. It's going to be 18.7. Alright, we are ready to taxi. Sky Harbor Ground, Cactus 922 with Tango, ready to taxi.
Cactus 920 Phoenix Ground, runway 8, taxi via Charlie Bravo 1.
Charlie Bravo 1 to runway 8, Cactus 922. Alright, Charlie, I'm writing this down. Charlie Bravo 1 to runway 8. Listen to these engine sounds, guys. Make sure you don't exceed your 40% breakaway thrust. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, Charlie and Bravo 1. So Charlie is the inner taxiway. And then we can do some comment reading. I apologize, guys, for not reading all of your comments here, but I just want to get this airplane off the gate. It's a lot to handle. Alright, Charlie is the inner. Left on Charlie, we're going to runway 8. Slam Cannon says the Ziba has recently integrated a ground crew, which is pretty rad. That's pretty cool. I was not aware of that. That sounds like a pretty cool thing. Rutnut says Ziba is one of the best planes out there, even against payware. Ooh, Rutnut. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pretty hard to beat the FlyJ Sim. I don't know. I have an axe to grind with the NG version of the 737. Dougal says sim pilots of this bird are special. Real world pilots of this bird are damn legends. That is the truth, Dougal. That is the absolute truth, man. I got a good buddy who's now retired, but he was America West 732 driver. He's got some stories. Gary says, look at those seats. Yeah, guys, when we get in cruise, we're going to take a tour of the cabin, too. I mean, this, you've got the seats modeled. You can turn the cabin lighting off from the flight attendant panel. You can open freaking compartments. This is probably the most complete add-on I've ever seen in Xplane. This is how your add-ons should be released. Slam Cannon coming in with a super chat. Love Airbus, but how could any Av geek deny this classy bird? Absolutely, man. Absolutely, Slam Cannon. You can't deny this classy bird. Let's make sure I don't lose where we're going. Here's Charlie, Sierra. We got to go all the way to the end. Simon Tomba. Hey, Cap, did you build your own gaming PC? Yes, I did recently, guys. I built it, obviously, a long time ago, and then I've just upgraded my PC significantly. My specs are in the description if you want to check them out. I am not running an overclock. I'm running just the i9 right now, but it's overclocking itself about 4.6 gigahertz right now, but the base clock is still the default 3.6, I believe. Cardwa Joel says, if format's right, you can also convert it to SkyVector and export it there to make it look a little bit easier. Yeah, absolutely. Q8 does a nice tutorial on it. Yes, Q8 guys, man, if you have tutorials, if you need something done and he's got a video on it, you got to watch it because his tutorial videos are awesome. I watched his video for the Fork Boy installation and just everything. And I'm also watching it for X Camera. So X Camera is pretty complex actually to set up. So I'm getting X Camera, guys. It's not on this stream, obviously, but it's going to be here next time, and we'll have that. Igor EK says, hi there, just crashed my Xplane 11 when tuned to ASXP approach during flight. Feel bad now. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. I hate Xplane crashes. It's a punch in the stomach, man. Albert Delgado, nostalgia. This is total nostalgia, man. Total nostalgia. Rutnut says, I know the 727 is your favorite, but would you rather the 732 or 727 for Xplane? Ooh, Rutnut, you know what? I think I really enjoy the 727 as well. I would like to really find a 727 multi-crew because in order to run it properly and according to procedure, you really need like at least 4 hands in there. So it's kind of difficult to run a single pilot. By all means, you can do it. I don't run it with the default FMC. I think that's just a sin. But it's a handful to fly, but it is a glorious plane. I do fly it quite a bit. I'm actually probably going to do some streams with it when I get a yoke. I don't have my yoke. My old Satec yoke, I had an old Satec yoke. It broke. So I'm flying this with my joystick Warthog right now, which is kind of feels wrong too. But I do have a yoke on its way, and when I get my yoke, I'll probably do a couple streams in the 727. I love that plane. That one I don't know near as much as the 73200. I feel pretty confident in this aircraft. The 727 is kind of like stepping into a world unknown for me, so I'm still really learning it to operate it properly. I want to move hydraulic fluid. I want to move fuel around. I want to operate it according to procedure. So in order for me to do that, I've really got to do some more reading on it. But I have done quite a few flights with it. I love it. That 727 is going to be good for shared cockpit. FlyJ Sim mod comes out. Yep, Carla, it absolutely is. That's what I'm kind of waiting for. It's going to be a blast. Dougal says the JT8D is the Merlin of jet engines. Yes, it is, Dougal. Oh, the good old Merlin. Yeah, JT8D is a beast. Old and loud. Danny says, V1, looking forward to watching this after work. Have a good flight, man. Thank you, Danny. I'll catch you next time, brother. Rutnut 6 JT8D, best engine, changed my mind. I won't change your mind, Rutnut. Not gonna deny it. That sounds awesome. Captain Kringles, he says, well said to Slam Cannon about love Airbus, but how can you deny this? Yeah, you can't deny it, man. Was I a Charlie the whole way down here? I don't think I was. Yeah, I was Charlie. Oh, it should be Charlie Bravo. I think he meant to say Charlie Charlie 1, but we'll go ahead and turn here. I said one of the best, not the best. Yeah. Alright. We're going to hold short of the runway here. I'm going to clean up the rest of the comments, and then I'm going to have to be all hands in here for this departure. Go ahead and brake set. Taxi light comes off. Alright, let's go ahead and switch to tower, which is going to be 18.70. Oops, there it is. And our departure frequency is going to be 19.2. So remember, guys, you got to put everything ahead of time here. We are 19.2, 18.7 there. We're going to fly heading 080. I'm sorry, we're going to fly 078 to 1500, then a right turn to heading 080. So that's pretty much straight away. 080. And then at 4 miles east of Phoenix, so at 4 DME from right here, which will be quick, we're going to turn right, further right, heading 100. Expect radar vectors to Buckeye. All right, let's do a checklist and get out of here. Clear for takeoff, transponder on, landing lights on, and I'm just verifying I got everything else here. Okay, so transponder TARA, and let's call tower. Everything else looks good. Phoenix Tower, good morning. Cactus 922, hold short, runway 8, ready to go.
Cactus 922 for tower, runway 8 cleared for takeoff.
Runway 8 clear for takeoff, Cactus 922. All right, here we go, boys. Alright, time to focus, time to focus. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of lighting in here. Alright, spool them up 50%, and we gotta make sure they stabilize. Alright, here we go. 2.04 on the EPers. Positive rate, gear up. Want to watch that temp. I've got to lower the EPer just a little bit. We're getting a little hot there. I'm going to go ahead and put heading mode on. Autopilot, and heading is engaged. 175, flaps coming to 1. I'm going to bring back the EPer. Our temps are really hot here. It's a hot day in Phoenix. 1.95 now, just to keep it cool. Don't worry about that stab at a trim light. That comes on every now and then with my calibration on my stick. And flaps 0.
Cactus 920, contact departure.
Departure, we'll see you, Cactus 920. we are on heading of 080. So we are waiting for, what did I say, 4 miles, and then we're going to fly heading 100. Departure, good morning, Cactus 922, 4, climb on 8,000.
Cactus 922, Phoenix to ready contact. Climb and maintain flight level 210, flight 255, get a flag force when able.
Climb main 210, and can we get a heading for that initially for Cactus 922?
Cactus 922, yeah, he might have cut me off flight 255, direct to Buckeye when able, climb and maintain flight level 210.
Good. 255 on the heading, direct Buckeye when able, climb flight level 210, Cactus 922. Thank you, sir. Alright, we are 210. He said direct to Buckeye when able, so we know we can switch that over to 110.6. Let's sync up our course. We gotta flip it around here. We gotta wait. It's gonna be about 240.
Cactus 922, AFCAM, resume the departure.
At Buckeye, resume the departure, Cactus 922. I can't hear him a little bit. I gotta turn him up just a little bit. Okay, we're coming on around. What's our EPR? 1.93. Let's go ahead and get this off. Everything looks good. We're accelerating. Let's go back to 92% N1 for our climb, which is right there. It's going to be about 1.90 EPR. I'm going to set my EPR bugs just as a reference. Keep us safe. Whoa, I hate that zoom when I miss the scroll wheel here. Buckeye. There it is. There's Buckeye. We can go VOR loc mode now. We're getting ready to go through 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and get these lights off. Oops, that stays on. It's the wing and logo that will come off there. Alright, we are going to accelerate out now. IAS hold. So now I've got an IAS hold on the elevator. It's going to pitch for 250 knots. It's for my bug speed. Alright, so now we got to pay attention. After Buckeye, we got to stay on Victor 16, so it's going to be 262. So a trick that I use, guys, I come over here to the ADF, just to remind myself, I put 262 there after Buckeye. So I know after we pass Buckeye, we got to track outbound on the 262, which is pretty much, we can go ahead and just cheat a little bit, make it 262 right there. Out of 11,000, let's go ahead and do a checklist here. What's our OAT? OAT is plus 15, so we are good. We don't need any engine anti-ice. Let me know how the sound is for you guys. If I know this, haven't streamed with this airplane yet, so if it's too loud, let me know. I can turn down the audio in the sim. All right, let's go ahead and run through a checklist real quick here. After takeoff check, seatbelt is on, anti-ice is closed. Gear is up and off, no lights. Flaps up, no lights. Hydraulic pressure and quantity is normal. Climb is N2, flaps up by 200 knots. We've done that. We're going to increase speed to 280 knots for our climb out. So we'll lower the elevator, or I'm sorry, lower the speed. Increase the speed bug, which will then lower the nose to pitch for 280. At 290, we'll transition to Mach 7.4. And that's pretty much going to take care of it. Let's go ahead and look at up top here. Let me get some lights on. And let's make sure that our cabin is pressurizing. You will black out if you do not have your packs on. Your pilot will black out. So we are climbing 320. We are climbing up here. Everything looks good. Cabin is pressurizing. Right now the cabin altitude is about 3,000 feet. Departure for Cactus 922. We just want to verify our final cruise altitude that we filed.
Cactus 922, 320.
Okay, thank you, sir. We're just checking out some weights to see if we can comply with that. All right,
Roger.
so our aircraft performance, we'll be able to make 320. It shouldn't be a problem. All right, 32 miles from Buckeye. Things are looking up. All right, now I think I have a moment. Let's see if I can get to some of these comments, guys. Oh, we're approaching 10 degrees Celsius. Before I do that, let's go ahead and get the engine anti-ice on. We'll leave the wings off for now. And what I'll do, and what I do this in a real airplane too, is let's go ahead and increase our rate of climb by just dialing the speed back a little bit. You'll see our VSI will increase here. We're passing 15.9 for flight level 210. Our Siva is showing us distance 28 miles to Buckeye. That matches with that. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. If we were navigating purely Siva, we would be in nav mode over here. Oh, I'm sorry, in GPS mode. But we're using Siva kind of as our reference. We're not authorized to use RNP performance on this flight. So we're going to keep it in nav mode. We're going to use our radials. We're going to use our Siva for other stuff too. I'll show you.
Cactus 920 contact Albuquerque Center 134.32.
3432. Good day, Cactus 922. Oops, I should have put that over here before switching it. Morning, Albuquerque, Cactus 922-18, climbing flight level 210.
Cactus 922 Albuquerque Center, good morning, climb and maintain flight level 320.
Climb maintain flight level 320, Cactus 922. Alright, we are going to increase our speed now. That's why our VSI has settled off here. We're increasing our rate of climb. Let's check our EPRs out, make sure we're not over-temping. Your engines will catch fire, I promise. If you don't believe me, check out my maintenance log here. This is my second airframe, 38 hours on it. I had to replace an engine last night, guys. I blew engine number 2. This is what's so cool about the maintenance system on the FlyJ Sim. So I taxied off the gate. Everything looked normal, right? Everything was good. As I'm taxiing to the runway, I get a notification over here. This little wrench turned red, and it said, hey, engine 2 needs maintenance. And I said, it'll be good. I'll take off with it. We'll get maintenance at our destination. Instead of going back to the gate and doing maintenance on the engine. Well, I took off, and shortly after I took off, engine number 2 blew up, and I had to do emergency single-engine landing. So, if you like challenges, this is the plane for you. All right, 17 miles from Buckeye. Let's just verify after Buckeye, we said 262 to Blythe, which is 117.4. So let's go ahead and set 117.4 in nav 2. We'll flip that over. We're going to put 117.4 in the standby for nav 1. So now I'm already receiving the Blythe VOR here at DME 2, but we're going to track outbound. This airway is 98 miles. If you look right here, this is the airway distance between Buckeye and Blythe. So at 98 miles, we'll call it 50 miles. We'll do a changeover. Here's actually the changeover point. So it says 54 miles, you change over to Blythe VOR. So we got a little ways to go. Let's go ahead and get some of these comments. Man, it's a lot of talking. All right. Data Elston says, I'm flying the TOLUS from LAS to LAX right now. Awesome, man. Maybe I'll see you in the skies. Are you on Pilot Edge? Zach Calpe asked, what's X camera? It's just a camera view system for Xplane. A lot of you guys have been recommending it for being a streamer and using it, so I have looked into it. I do like it. I like the way it works, but it's a little bit more to the setup part of things, so I got to get the setup done. Anthony Robinson, good morning to you, buddy. Cosmic to Balloon, nothing beats old school steam gauge. That's right, Cosmic. Dougal, I gave up on X camera, too much stuff to do. I know, man. That's why I'm watching Q8 tutorial right now. He's got a great tutorial video on how to set everything up. So I am watching that. Also, make sure our temps are looking good here. 1.90 in the EPR. Things are looking good. All right, at 5 miles. If you've watched my VOR navigation tutorial, it's on my channel. I explain how to navigate VOR to VOR. But this is essentially what we're doing. We're about 4 miles at 23,000 feet. This DME will probably not go to zero. It's probably going to stay right around 4 miles. And then you're going to see this to from flag flip direction because we're going to pass over the VOR. The slant range air will say that we're still 4 miles from it, but this deviation will be our indicator that we've passed. Here we go. Here comes a cone of confusion. This CVI is going to deflect out. This flag will flip. There we go. So now we are outbound on the 262 radial. Perfect. Nothing to it. Nothing to it on that one. Gary says, you surely need hand sanitizer after getting out of this cockpit. Yeah, Absolutely, man. Some degreaser as well. Dougal's, I already read that. Ruben Ploner says, when there are two parallel adjacent taxiways, does it matter which one you pick? I mean, is one taxiway for one direction, the other is opposite direction? Well, I could show you that here in the chart. Where's Phoenix? That's San Jose. Here is Phoenix. So we came out of Terminal 4. He said taxi via Charlie. Charlie is the inner taxiway. So his taxi clearance to me was Charlie Bravo 1, which actually was semi-incorrect. He should have said Charlie 1 Bravo 1. That's just nitpicking here because technically the transition between Charlie and Bravo, this is Charlie 1 and then this is Bravo 1. So the taxi clearance should have been taxi to runway 8 via Charlie 1 Bravo 1, or he could have transferred me over and said taxi via Bravo 1, and we could have just come straight out of the terminal area here and take Charlie 10 straight on to Bravo and gone all the way down to Bravo 1. You can't just pick whichever one you want to. Every taxiway has a designated letter, and ATC will give you that designated route to follow, and you must follow it. So don't just pick random taxiways. That's a big no-no. Alright, we're keeping track of our position here, guys. We're doing it old school. We're not using moving maps or any GPS follow. We're going to do it. I'm going to be so tired after this flight, but it's going to be worth it. Alright, our EPRs are creeping up here. Let's go ahead and pull them back down. 1.90. Make sure we're still looking good. 92 there. Fuel is good. Perfect. Zach Calpe asked, what yoke did I buy? I ordered the honeycomb flight yoke. So it's out for pre-order right now. I pre-ordered it, and hopefully it'll be here in the next couple of months, or a couple of weeks maybe. I think they said around August for pre-orders. Rutnut 6, I mean, who would fly an old plane with an FMS? Why? Just no, that is so wrong. I agree, Rutnut. I agree. I give my buddy Jungali Sin. He flies FMS in these airplanes. It makes me sick. It physically hurts me to see this beautiful work of art with the default FMC. Check out these sounds, guys. Watch your ears. This is probably one of the best sounding airplane in Xplane. Look at that view. Man. Waytech Seaway VR, good morning. Classic. A lot more work, but fun to do. It absolutely is, man. It's a lot more work. And trying to stream and read questions is a lot of work. Do go listen to those power plants. Yep. Carta, you're correct. I did get the pre-ordered of the honeycomb. Rutna 6. Wow, watching all this insanity, you could really use a second pair of hands. Absolutely, man. I really could. This aircraft climbs like a beast. It sure does. We're a little bit light today, too, so we are hauling. Dougal, don't forget to hit the like, guys. Thanks, buddy. Slam Cannon says, excited about the 747-200 Classic in development for Xplane. Slam Cannon, that's kind of news to me. I was not aware of a 747-200. Would you care to elaborate? I'm not aware of that, that module coming out. That sounds fun. All right, here's 30 miles. Our changeover point is telling us at 54 miles is when we switch over to Blythe VOR. So we're looking good. Sounds are on point, Alberto. Yes, they are. Oh, you mean the audio for the recording. Okay, good.
Cactus 920 to contact LA Center 124.62. Good day.
2462. We'll see you, Cactus 922. All right, so you want to make sure you switch the radio that you're not using. 2462. So if I were to change this radio, you can see the green light here, I would have cut myself off in transition or transmission, and I've done that before. I call these coffee grinder radios. I've flown airplanes with coffee grinders, and it's a pain in the butt, especially if you're used to something where you can just twist it and then press a button to switch over, like the Airbus. No, if you start, as soon as you twist this, you're off that frequency, so you got to make sure you're twisting the right knob. I think you said 2662. I'm sorry, Center for Cactus 922. Was that 126.62?
Cactus 922, 124.62.
Thank you. Center, good morning. Cactus 922 is 29.2, climbing flight level 320.
Tex 922, LA 700.
All right, we are 29 for 32,000, 41 miles. Our changeover was 54. We're still looking good. Rutnut says, oh, funny story. Last night on Datsun, I was flying out of DFW with a friend, and someone forgot to set the packs and bleeds on, so I'm at 21,000 feet, and I had to request emergency descent. That's funny. Yeah, that'll happen, man. Igor says, Bruder yokes are the best, but price. Interesting. It's all right, Rutnut. It happens to all of us. The only reason I know that you will actually black out is because I blacked out myself in this airplane. Because I forgot to turn the engine bleeds on. I turned the packs on, but I didn't have the engine bleeds on, and I was like, what the hell is happening to my screen? And yeah, it blacked out. Not good. Not good. In the E-145, I climbed back up after pressurization was set and continued my way. There you go. That's funny. That's funny, Rutnut. Good times. Good old VATSIM. The Light Gamer says, hey, Captain, just wondering when he was going to talk about the question I asked about about Embry-Riddle. So let me, we'll get into that here. Let me turn this down a little bit. And our changeover point was 54 miles. So it's going to be 080 inbound, which is going to be 260 inbound.
At 6,000 after Homeland, clear to RNAV, runway 26 right bridge.
So let me turn him down just a little. This guy's louder than the last guy. Turn him down a little bit more. All right, here comes 53 miles. So what we do here, well, we have to change the airway. I'm going to go ahead and go heading mode. Make sure you're synced. I should have my flight directors on. There we go. Here's 54 miles. So now I need to set 260 for the course, and now I can turn the aircraft with the heading bug. Nice and gentle. Oops, and I need to switch over VOR. So 17.4, there we go. Okay, so now we are tracking to Blythe VOR. That's needleless centered. Let's go back to localizer capture, and the aircraft will come back. So I use the heading bug just to minimize climbing left and right and left and right. All right, so Elite Gamer was asking about Embry-Riddle. He's going to, he's pursuing a flying career, and there's a couple guys that were actually talking about Embry-Riddle. Now, guys, this is my point of view and just my opinion. So don't, sorry, I had a drink of water there. Don't take what I say as the law. You know, you do what's best for you. But in my opinion, so I actually went to Embry-Riddle. Some of you probably know this. I went there for a year at the actual campus. I got my private pilot license, and I quickly realized that I was going to be out of money very fast, and I was going to end up with not necessarily a guaranteed job. So, oh, now I can't hear this guy. So I ended up switching campuses. I went back to the Prescott campus. I finished my private pilot license, and then I said, okay, I need to do something else here to get a little bit better financial situation. So I ended up going to a local flight school, and I got all my ratings. I got my instrument, my commercial instrument, and multi-engine. I got all those ratings for the same price that it took me to get my private pilot license at Embry-Riddle. So that's how expensive Embry-Riddle is. Now, if you have a scholarship there or something there, I mean, by all means, do what you got to do. But in today's day and age, with the pilot shortage situation...
Cavjet 850, SoCal approach, Roger, I'm sorry, you said X-ray and iOS Yankee 16 right, correct?
You can get some really good opportunities without going the Embry-Riddle way. If you've got the money to spend, I mean, and you want to spend it, then by all means, spend it. But there's a lot of flight schools now that where you go to their flight school and you do all your ratings with them. They actually have pathway programs to the regionals. I know Envoy Air or American Eagle, they have a lot of pathway programs with certain flight schools. So if I were to do it again in today's day and age, I would find a flight school that I could do all my ratings for, and I have like either a guaranteed interview at the end of it or a guaranteed job at the end of it with a regional. The regionals are hiring so bad right now they can't find pilots that they have all these pathway programs, and some of them actually reimburse your flight training. So I would investigate that before deciding to go the university route. The university route also, I hate to say this, and I don't know how to knock on it, but there's a stigma with the Embry-Riddle graduates that come online now. It's a lot of the people that graduate from Embry-Riddle nowadays, and I'm going to say I went to Embry-Riddle, I did online courses after my first year of campus, but there's a stigma about Embry-Riddle now. It's kind of like, oh, you're a Riddle rat. That's kind of what you get branded as. And it's just implying that, oh, we're leveling here at 32. Let's go ahead and bring that thrust back. We do not want to overspeed. Let's go ahead and bring it back to 1.75. So there is and that shouldn't really bother you. I mean, Embry-Riddle's a great school, and you're going to learn a lot, and they do a lot of really good things. But I would just be aware, and I would research, if you want to be an airline pilot, look at those flight schools that have flow programs. I know there are programs out there, even in Texas. I think there's one in Denton. I think it's U.S. Flight Academy. And you get accepted into the program, you go through training, then you get hired on at American Eagle, and then you have a flow number to flow all the way into American. So your path is set from zero to airlines. So I would really investigate that as well, aside from just the school. Also, the last thing to say about this is get a degree in something not aviation. Whether if you go to Embry-Riddle, or you go to a different college, or you go to a college, get a degree in something other than aviation. Even if you want to be an airline pilot, get a business degree or something that you can fall back on, because you never know what's going to happen to your career, what's going to happen to you, health-wise. You want to have something to fall back on. So for me, I minored in aviation safety. I am fascinated with accident investigation and studying NTSB reports. So if I ever lost my medical, God forbid, I would really try to get into the investigation side of things. So have a plan B, have something to fall back onto. And that's kind of my little spiel about Embry-Riddle and what to do now. In today's day and era. Okay, here we go. Heading mode. I forgot to talk you through this one. 278. So after Blythe, we got to track outbound on the 278. So now I can adjust the course to 278. We got to track outbound for 37 miles. We're on J65. This is the airway towards Palmdale. So we're going to track outbound 37 miles. And then we're going to have a position check at DCAS on the way to Palmdale. Here comes our deviation is coming right back in. And now I'm going to go ahead and go back into loc mode as it gets within that first dot. That way the aircraft doesn't turn all the way to the right. So if you just go straight into loc mode on a changeover point like that, what can happen is the aircraft will start turning right, then left, and right, then left. Using the heading bug really minimizes the turning the airplane will do. Alright, I think we're set now for a little while. So we're 278 outbound. We're going to do a radial check off of Peach Springs, which will be Palm Springs, 115.5.
Number 2, do you mind clear direct B show? Join me, Harry.
Let's throw that there, and then let's also throw Palmdale 14.5 in the secondary there. We're going to use 14.5 Palmdale here. Alright, so now we got a little bit, we can talk a little more. Let's switch views here. Alright. I missed a lot of comments talking about that Embry-Riddle thing, sorry guys. But I hope that kind of clears it up a little bit for you. And it's just my opinion, being in the industry, there's so much opportunity to get on with an airline if that's your goal, other than going the university route through Embry-Riddle. When I went through and trying to get on the airlines, it was super competitive. To get on with a regional, you had to have, they wanted like 2,000 hours total, and you needed to have 1,000 multi-time. Now, pretty much, it's if you can fly an airplane, you have a pulse, you're going to get on at the regional level because they need guys so bad. And that's not to knock it or anything. It's just how times have changed. Times are changing in the industry, and companies are getting different contracts, companies are being bought and merged, so it's a real good opportunity if you're coming through the ranks now as a student pilot to be able to get one of those entry-level jobs and get it very early on in your career. For me, after I got all my ratings, I had to flight instruct. I was a flight instructor for 3 years or 2 years, and then I was doing a little bit of corporate flying on the side by word of mouth just to get some experience. You know, it was all word of mouth that I was networking myself. And this was kind of before Twitter, and that was a really big deal. So you had to go out and meet people, hang out at the FBO. Then I had to get a freight job so I could get that pilot in command time. The airlines wanted turbine PIC time. So I had to find a job where I would be able to fly turbine engines as a captain with low time. So it was very difficult to get a decent job back then. Now that path it's opened up to everybody that's coming into the ranks. So I would really look into that route. Look at all your options first. I'm not saying Embry-Riddle's a bad school or anything like that, but it's super expensive, and you can accomplish the airline dream in a very fast track, not necessarily going through Embry-Riddle. But you do want to get your degree, whether you get it online or in basket weaving. Get a degree, get something you can fall back on. Dougal says, I'm sorry guys, I'm way behind on these comments here. Dougal says, many years ago, I got to jump seat this bird from EGGW to LFRN. Awesome, Dougal. Yeah, I've been in the jump seat a couple times. It's a blast. It's fun. Cedric Yeo, how long did it take for you to learn Siva? Not long. I've been, believe it or not, when I was going through different training in my ATP, the Siva was still kind of it was pretty much old, but you still had some questions on your test exam about Siva. So I was a little bit familiar with it. By no means am I an expert. Sometimes I screw it up in the box and I don't even know how to fix it. But I'm by no means an expert with Siva. But when you download this aircraft, there's a good manual that explains the CIVA INS as well. Oh, and standard Barrow 2992. Oops, did I not set that? I did not set that. It's a good thing. We're a slant. I think we're a slant whiskey on our flight plan, so he knows that we're on the struggle bus. All right, we are 39 miles from Blythe. This airway to Palmdale we've actually just passed DCAS intersection, which was the 260 outbound from NAV2, which would be the 080, which we just passed right about now. Here's the 080 radial off of Palm Springs, so that's DCAS intersection. We are continuing up to Palmdale now, which is 114.5. So let's go ahead and switch this over. We are receiving Palmdale, 132 miles from Palmdale. This airway is 138 miles. If there is no changeover point like this, we're going to split it in half. So we're going to, at 70 miles, we're going to switch over on NAV1 and track Palmdale inbound. And that will be the end of Palmdale. Then I actually have to find the rest of the route. I hope I remember where it was. After Palmdale, we're taking J6. There's Palmdale. I'm looking on SkyVector. J6 to Lando intersection. So we're going to need to track outbound 295 eventually. So I'm going to put that over here as a reminder. This is just the ADF. If you're not using it, it's good to, as a reminder. That's going to be out of Palmdale, 295. 53 miles. We got about 20 miles or so. All right, that looks good. Not 6 best sounding planes in the world. Yes, they are. Alberto, hi, Virtual Aviator. Hello there. Gary says, V1, I hope in the future you can do some videos on the Rotate MD AV8. Still trying to tackle that bird, and man, it can be a handful as well. Gary, it can sure be a handful. I haven't flown the Rotate in a very long time. I was getting some weird crashes with Xplane when I was flying it. I don't know if it was a Rotate sim bird. It's been in the hangar for a while for me now. I don't know if I'll get around to streaming it. I never flew the MD-80, but I almost did. I was in the sim for the MD-88 for a little bit, and then I ended up getting a different opportunity, and no longer pursued that career path to fly the MD-88. But like I said, I had some stability issues with it. It might have been on my end, but I'm really looking forward to the MD-11 from Rotate Sim. We'll see. Maybe one day we can do a video on it. Cedric Yao, there is a maximum number of waypoints you can enter in the Siva, right? Yes, 9, I believe. If your route requires more than maximum waypoints, what happens? Well, then you need to have a different route. So, no, the Siva, your waypoints aren't always going to be your whole route of flight. So, for instance, our departure procedure, I didn't put all these waypoints in here. You know, I didn't put DCAS in here, or I didn't put the DME from here. I just put the VORs, and it's really going to depend on your route of flight on what you're going to put in your Siva. That's why aircraft of this era were so limited, because you, like as you said, you only have 9 waypoints, and you may be using those waypoints as cross-check or DME check airs to get rid of the drift air in the INS. So a lot of times you were navigating, this is how we navigated, was by airways, and we followed Jet Airways or Victor Airways. These are Jet Airways because we're above 18,000. But we followed Jet Airways with our nav radio, and that's just how navigation was back then. So if you're going across the pond, you're going to have a Siva, and you're going to have your waypoints spread out at a much more significant distance than you would that you're capable with the VOR. The VOR is only good for, like, I don't know, 150, 300 miles, depending on what class of VOR it is and where you are. With the INS, you can really space those waypoints out really far. So you may only have 9 waypoints, but they could be very far apart. That's where it comes down to, you know, your route of flight and how you're planning it. I'm not sure, guys, if there was, I'm trying to remember if there was a way to update and like, or add waypoints. I don't think so. I think once you aligned your 9 waypoints, you were done. I don't think there was a way to, like, clear out the old ones and import new ones in flight. I do not know. I apologize. I don't remember. That's beyond my knowledge of the Siva box. All right, we are 80 miles from Blythe, so we need to change over and track Palmdale inbound, which is 114.5. So let's go ahead and go into heading mode first. Make sure your heading is set. Heading mode. The inbound is, let's see, the outbound is 09. No, the inbound is 095.
You ran via Alpha, monitor ground point 7.
The outbound is 095, so the inbound is 278. There we go. 278, which we're already on. So let's go ahead and switch over nav 1 to 14.5, which is Palmdale VOR. And 278 inbound, here it comes. I'm going to use the heading bug to slightly get me in that direction. Man, this looks awesome, huh? This is Palm Springs. This is Palm Springs out here. I've landed at that airport many, many, many times. Taking students when I was a flight instructor. We'd fly to Palm Springs, or you'd go through the pass right here and then go into California. 278 inbound to Palmdale. Needle is starting to come in, so let's go back into VOR loc mode. The aircraft will go get it. So this is kind of why you use that heading mode. You see how steep the aircraft is turning now? It's really hunting for that VOR. I should have used the heading bug a little bit more there, but that's okay. After Palmdale, it's not charted, but we're going to fly 295, so we need to get our, where is our arrival? We're on the Rose 4, or I'm sorry, Roby 4. Upside down. So we're eventually going to pick up the arrival here at Avenal.
Runway 26 right approach.
Is that right?
Roger, yeah. Make sure you include that with your initial check-in with tower when you're on an instrument approach. That way, in case of miss, we're all going to be on the same page. The wind calm and runway 26 right, clear to land. 26 right, clear to land.
I think it was 275 inbound, not 278. I believe it was 275 inbound, so that was a little bit, hopefully he doesn't get mad at us there. All right. We are 78 miles. We're looking good. We're looking good. Virtual aviator. Okay, I want to be a pilot. However, I hear that pilots don't require a university degree. I want to go to university, study aviation engineering because airline pilots choose because the airlines choose pilots with extra. Yep, you want to have that degree, especially to be competitive. You know, when you're going to be competing with all these guys that do have degrees, you're going to need to have a degree. Wow, look at our cross-track air. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the wind. 267 at 8. Okay, so here we go. I'm using Siva to verify wind now. 267 at 8. What's our desired track status at 4? We're at 0.2 left, of course. Heading is good. What's our ground speed? We're at 454 over the ground. Okay, we had a little hiccup there tracking that 275 inbound, but we're back on it now. 67 miles. There it is. 8.9 minutes to our VOR of Palmdale, and which you can't see on the chart. We're going to track Palmdale outbound on J6 and then back into Avenal. But yes, virtual aviator, you want to have that degree to be competitive with other pilots. Absolutely. But like I said, consider something other than aviation, because what if, you know, something doesn't work out? You want to have something to fall back onto. Jacob McGregor says, I'm currently training for my private pilot license in the UK. Do you have any experience and tips will help? Jacob McGregor, I'm going to refer you to NASA 6. I think he's in the chat. Maybe he already tagged you. I'm catching up with the comments. But he is going through the same exact situation right now. So he's going to be your guy to ask about European, UK, EU, EASA, that situation. He's going to be the guy to refer to. Unfortunately, there's such a difference between regulations between the US and the EU that I can't really speak to how the UK will do their flight training and stuff over there. Man, look at that. That looks real. That looks real. Goodness. Captain Kringles, what ortho is this? Fork Boy. Yes, it is Fork Boy. Correct. If you need help with the Fork Boy install, Q8's got an awesome video, walks you through it from start to finish. Jacob McGregor says, Jacob McGregor says, I'm currently training for my private pilot license in the UK. Do you have any experience tips that help you? Refer to NASA 6, I think. Yeah, he's the guy to get on that. Real time 12345 says, hello Captain, greetings from the Netherlands, have a safe flight. Well, greetings, thank you very much. So far so good.
Cactus 922, contact LA Center 133.2.
133.2, we'll see you, Cactus 922. 133.2, now we can switch over. Boom. LA Center, good morning, Cactus 922, level 320.
Cactus 922, LA Center, roger.
Slam Cannon, V1 Sim. The 747 Classic is in development by Fellis, who also produced the Tupolev TY-154 Mike, which is another excellent old-school aircraft, high learning curve, however. I'm not aware of that. I'll have to research that. That sounds very interesting. Alexander Rafael Santos de Amorim says, hi, dude. About the joystick sensibilities and augmentation, how is your settings? So, on the left, I don't want to go into the settings page now. I'm afraid it might crash my sim. But pretty much for the FlyJ sim, they have it outlined in the manual for you. They want basically there's two sets of settings, right? On the left column is stabilization, then augmentation. So everything on the left should be about 50%, and then the 3 settings on the right need to be at 0 for flying the 5J sim. That will give you the most fine-tuned, realistic feeling for the 737. Just checking my radios here, make sure, yeah, we're good. Cedric, thanks for the info, V1. You're welcome. Hamad Ahmadi says, believe it or not, we still fly this bird in my country, Iran. I used to fly this type for 2 years. Then I had to say goodbye to technical issues lack of names. Ah, man. That's crazy. Well, glad to have you here. Don't judge me. I've never flown this airplane before, so... V1, or NASA says V1, reprogram the device in flight is possible. Got the manual open. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so it is possible to add more waypoints. I thought that sounded right. I, however, do not know how to do that. That's beyond my realm of knowledge. Campia 6 Space says, I love this plane so much. Me too, man. I think this and the Flight Factor 320 with the BSS sound packs are my favorite aircraft all time. In Xplane 11. It's just so well. This airplane is just, I mean, it's so complete. This is how aircraft should be released. You know, I mean, this thing comes out, you've got checklist, maintenance tracking, which I've talked about this briefly on some of my other streams, but I don't want to get in an airplane where doing a pre-flight check and everything is complete waste of time because everything is going to work 100% of the time. In the FlyJ Sim series, that is not true. Light bulbs burn out. You got to replace light bulbs. Your engine wears. Everything. Your airframe wears. So it's really awesome to have this kind of maintenance system. This is a whole new life. This is a whole new level of add-on, in my opinion, to Xplane, is having the FlyJ Sim type maintenance system. I know the Hot Start TBM has a very, very good maintenance wear and tear simulation as well. I just, that whole thing adds so much immersion to the sim. I love it. It's great. And then, you know, you've got a doors page here. You've got your options. I have the yokes hidden right now because it's kind of difficult to reach my heading knobs. I've got the HF wire hidden, but you can change everything here. You can enable, disable the sounds. I mean, perfect. And then you have your whole weight and balance set up here. You can get all your details. And now for landing, as we get ready, we're going to do a flaps 30 landing. Here's VREF, automatically set my bugs. This is trip number 37. It gives me the date. The altimeter at the destination is 2999er. I mean, this is how an aircraft should be released into the community. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, we're approaching 17 miles from Palmdale VOR. And basically, guys, what you can't see, it's not charted here. I don't have the en route chart. But we're going to essentially, if Palmdale VOR is right here, I'm going to make a 295 and then a slight left turn direct to Avenal. And then we're going to pick up this arrival here, Avenal, and fly the arrival into San Jose. This is the row before RNAV arrival. So I already put 295 over here. And let me just verify that on my chart that it is going to be the correct direction. Yeah, to J6, slight right turn, 295, and then Avenal, which is the 117.1. So let's see if I can pick that up yet.
Mike LA Center, good morning. After Mines and descend across Clara, maintain 13.
Oh, we are picking up Avenal. I'm going to ask him for direct. That way I don't have to fly an off-airway segment that you guys can't see. I'm going to ask him just for direct Avenal.
Mike, just for clarification, after Meissen, descend across Clara and maintain 13,000.
After Meissen.
You can see the distance here. This says 8 miles, this says 5 miles because this is reading slant range here. That's why it's higher. Center Cactus 922 request.
Cactus 922.
Hey, after Palmdale, instead of following J6, can we go direct to Avenal, Alpha Victor Echo?
Cactus 922, fly heading 290, when able, proceed direct to Avenal VOR.
290, when able, direct Avenal VOR, Cactus 922, thank you. Alright, so we're going to go heading mode, 290, he gave it to us early. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to 117.1. There it is. Now we can center up the needle right about there. Perfect. We can go straight into VOR loc mode. Nice, smooth, a little bit of a dip in the turn. That's what you want to avoid. I've flown aircraft that have a very similar autopilot system to this, and sometimes, to be honest, we actually just kept it in heading mode almost the whole time because it was smoother than having it try to hunt and track the VOR. In real life, too, once you get out past like 120 miles or so, sometimes, depending on the aircraft and the condition of the VOR receiver, the airplane might start S-turning. You can just see it hunting left and right, and it gets annoying. So that's when we just select heading mode and get it all set up. Anyway, all right, so now that's good. We're going direct to Avenal, so we're going to be direct right here, which is 117.1. Then we got to intercept the 308 inbound, or the 128 outbound from Salinas, which is 117.3. So let's put that in the standby. Let's see if we can pick that up. We'll have that there ready, and we're going to put it in the standby over here as well. Perfect. You can see right now, DME2, we're not picking up Salinas VOR. So we are with the outside of the range for Salinas, 117.3. Also indicated by the VOR2 is 90 degrees left and right. Let's take a look at some more of these views, though. Wow, that's pretty cool, huh? Alright, back to the comments here. Virtual Aviator says, do you fly on VATSIM 2? I control Cairo. Oh, I haven't done any VATSIM yet, but we're definitely going to be doing a lot of VATSIM when we do the Euro tour, and we take an Airbus A320 all the way over to Europe. We're going to fly around Europe for a couple streams. So that'll be fun. Hopefully I'll see you over there. Wingman says, just saw you had a live stream, but I got to go to work. The 737 Siva is so cool. I'll go watch it when it get uploaded. Awesome. Thanks, Wingman. Have a good time at work, buddy. Virtual Aviator says, what about falling back on ATC? Very different from pilot. Ooh, you know what? The only thing about ATC is you really got to get into that at a young age. I don't think you can become an air traffic controller if you're above 25 or something like that. I know it's pretty restricted in when you can become an air traffic controller. So make sure if you want to do ATC that you know all about what you have to do to fall back on it. Unfortunately, I don't really know much about ATC or becoming a controller, so I can't really help you there. But yeah, any plan to have to fall back on something is good. Rutnut6 says, I think we should get V1 to fly at Tupolev. Oh boy, we may never get off the ground, man. Carda Joel says, part number 11. How many engines have you gone through V1? Yeah, so to be honest, guys, this is no lie. So I think I was on like 7. I had engine number 2. I was on my 7th engine. But last night, after I had, so what popped up in the reports was engine 2 requires maintenance, and then I didn't do anything about it. I took off anyway, right? And then it said engine 2 failed. So after I got back on the ground, I did repair engine 2, and then I did replace engine because I had an engine fail, and it was bugged. So I ended up hitting replace engine, I think, 3 times. So to be fair, I really should be on like maybe my 10th engine. But yeah, I replaced this engine last night. You can see it's only got 2.19 hours on it. But when I first started flying this plane around, man, I had a really cheap throttle, and the throttle would creep forward on me. And if you're outside of your limits on your engine, these things will catch fire like there's no tomorrow. I mean, an engine failure became such a common procedure. It was just like, it wasn't even an emergency anymore. Fire bell went off, and I'm like, oh, great. Let's go ahead, shut it down, do the checklist, and get back on the ground. But yeah, I love that about this plane. That makes this plane so fun to fly. Alexandre Raphael says, thanks a lot for the tip. It's nice to see this bird as I worked with them as a mechanic. Awesome. Now I'm doing the A350s, but the 732s were an amazing old. Oh man, I bet. A350, that is quite the change from the 737-200. That is definitely a big, big change from the 737-200. So I like looking out this side. I like looking at California. Oops, wrong side. I like looking at the mountains. Ahmad says, you're doing a great job. You can join Iranian Airlines if you're interested, but I'm not recommending. Awesome. Yeah, I think I'm going to stay where I am now, buddy, but I appreciate it. The other day I flew down to Mexico. Where was I? Was it Cabo? No, it was Cancun. And I have to look up the picture. But there was a couple 737-200s sitting on the ramp that looked like they were still in operation, maybe. But it was probably, I can't remember the name of the airline. It was definitely a Mexican airline that was down there in Mexico. So maybe you guys know. But it was just a couple 737-200s on the ramp. And there we are in the Airbus. I'm like, wow, that's different generations of giant proportion. We should probably see where we are. Where are we at here? We are 62 miles from Avenal. All right, we're looking good. We're still looking good. A little bit of turbulence there. Dougal just got, oh no, I just got a notification. Flight deck to sim is going live in 30 minutes. Ah, man, it's so good. They should send them here. Slam Cannon says, just got one too. An Airbus pilot flying a Boeing versus a Boeing pilot flying a Boeing. The first choice sounds way more interesting. Thanks, Slam Cannon. I think so too. Hopefully we can get a nice landing for him too. But yeah, Flight Deck to Sim, he's definitely got some good content over there. Rutnut 6 broke the engine so hard it broke the other engines. Yeah. Q8 Pilot in the house. Q8 Pilot says, V1 Sim, absolutely love your content. Keep it up. Hope to do something together soon. Q8 Pilot, I would love to do something together with you as well, man. Like I was saying earlier, guys, if you have any, if you want to know anything about Xplane, and if Q8's got a video on it, you need to watch it, because his editing and his content that he produces is top quality, top notch. So Q8, I thank you, man, for all your help. You've helped me with the Fork Boy and different sceneries, and I'm currently studying your X camera tutorial video right now. So I really appreciate your uploads and the content that you make. You're really making it easier for guys like me that struggle a little bit getting those little more complex add-ons all worked out, getting all the kinks out of them. So thanks a lot, Q8 Pilot. And actually, I always wondered why it was Q8 Pilot, and then I found out that it's because you're from Kuwait, and I thought that was so clever and so ingenious. I love it. I love it. Carta says, I thought the 732 still used because they have the gravel kit. Yeah, you know what? I want to say there's a 732 operator up in Alaska that still is flying around, and they have the gravel kits on the engines and everything. So I think there is. I really don't know for sure, but I'm fairly certain there is. All right, things are looking good. 5.4 minutes from Avenal VOR. You can see our DME2 is now registering. We're 141 miles from DME2, which I have set up over here at Salinas. We're going to have to calculate this descent here pretty soon. Yep, Carta, it is for the landing gear. Is it for the engines too? I thought there was. I thought they did something with the engines. I may be wrong with the gravel kit as well. CVR says 200 are still in operation up in northern Canada. Wow, I had no idea there was that many still in operation. That's crazy. Rutnut 6 says, yeah, and they have something in front of the engine to keep rocks from getting in the engine. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Awesome. All right, let's take a quick look at where we are here. We don't want to get behind on this airplane, right? So we are approaching Avenal VOR. After Avenal, we got to track outbound on the 276. So let's go over here to my handy cheat tool, the 276 in the EVF there, just as a reminder. We're going to track outbound on the 276 for 54 miles to Roby intersection. When we hit Roby, we're going to intercept the 308 inbound to Salinas. Gowology says turbojet vertical navigation planning information, expect 200 at Goalie. All right, guys, so we got to do a little descent calculation here. We need to cross Goalie at 200. Our current altitude is 320. The difference is 12,000 feet. We times that by 3, we're going to get 36,000. So we just dropped the 0. So we got 36 miles at a 3-degree glide path to cross Goalie at 200. Now let's take a look at our ground speed here. Our ground speed is 462. So if we do a quick math, 462 divided by 60, that's about 7.5. We're going to make it easy math. We're going to say that's 8 minutes a mile. So if we're going to take 36 miles at a 3-degree glide path, oh, that's not right. So 8 minutes per mile. Oh, so we take 36, divide that by 8. That's going to be about 5 minutes. 5 minutes from Goalie. We need to start our descent down to flight level 200. That's just kind of the rough ballpark calculation. Now, Goalie, we don't have it in the INS actually, so we're actually going to have to start down a little bit earlier. So at the standard 3-to-1, what did I say? It was going to be 36 miles. So it's 35 miles from Roby, as you can see right here on the chart. This little parentheses means that from Roby to Goalie is 35 miles. So at a 3-degree descent, so I'm probably going to start a little bit earlier. I'm going to write down, we're going to start our descent for Goalie if we get cleared, obviously. We're going to start our descent. We're going to give ourselves some buffer. We're going to do 15 miles from Roby. So 15 nautical miles from Roby. I'm just doing this in my, just kind of just doing random math in my head. Obviously, if we were doing this in real life, we'd have to really calculate this out. But just ballpark math, 15 miles from Roby should give me enough time to get down to 200 if we're cleared. So if we know it's 15 miles from Roby, we got to take 15 miles off of this airway segment. This airway segment is 54 miles. So we got to subtract 15 from that one. That's going to be 9. So about 39 miles. Yeah, that's right. So about 39 miles from Avenal, we will start down. So TOD is going to be 39 from Avenal if we get cleared to make that restriction. Eight miles per minute. Did I say 8 minutes per mile? 8 miles per minute. I think that's right. Okay, here we go. 6 miles. We're going to turn to heading 276 after we cross over the VOR. So what I'm going to do here is go heading mode. Boom, heading mode. We're going to flip over. Let's turn left to 276. Now we can switch our... Oh, we're going to stay on Avenal. We're going to stay on Avenal. So we're going to put our course needle to 276. We're going to fly it over there with the heading bug just a little bit. Wait for the CDI to come in here.
Cactus 922, contact Oakland Center 127.45. Good day.
127.45. Good day, Cactus 922. Oakland Center, good morning. Cactus 922, level 320. Cross goalie out of maintain for level 200, Cactus 922. All right, so we've got the restriction to flight level 200. All right, let's go ahead and let's just verify that. So I said we are 36. Let's see, 3 to 1, so we're 32,000 feet. We've got to cross at 20. That's 12,000 foot. Multiply that by 3. That's going to be 36 miles approximately. It's about 48 miles. Yeah, so I mean, it's my rough ballpark math says it should be about right. So about 48-ish miles. So we're going to start down 39 from Avenal just to give us some extra room. We want to be, if we got to be early, that's fine. We'll be early on the descent. We do not want to be late. Let's also look at, well, it's a little bit too late for that right now, I guess. The ATIS for San Jose is going to be 126.9 or 5. Writing this down so when it gets busy, we will have some information. 126.905 for ATIS. And then let's go ahead and I am assuming we're going to land on, I'm hoping we're going to land on 30 left because I only have 2 ILS charts loaded up here. The 30 left, I'm just writing this down so I don't have to look it up when we're flying the arrival. It's going to be 110.9er, and the final approach course is 306. I got that information from right here. All right, let's go back to our arrival. Row before RNAV. We are 24 miles from Avenal already. Man, we're hauling. Let's go ahead and reduce power. Ground speed is 460. Go back to distance and time. And bring it back to 1.72 on the EPR. Alright, things are looking up. Things are looking up. So at 39, we're going to start down. Slam Cannon, shout out to Q8. Love your content as well. Great to see you supporting this channel. Yep, absolutely. I am ecstatic to have Q8 supporting this channel. I mean, it's I love all of his videos, man. He does a great job. He does a fantastic job. Kimchi, hey Captain, sounds like you're from Dallas. I am in Frisco. Love the content. I'm not too far from you, man. Not too far from you. I won't say where I live over the internet, but not far at all. Dougal says, I think there's 3 732s flying up there with the gravel kit. Interesting. HD Simulation says Canada has a fleet of 732s that are still flying. Yep, that's what I was brought to my attention too. It's pretty cool. Tom Bordeaux says, yes, Air Intuit and Canadian North. Okay, awesome. No Liner is upgrading their 732s to keep them in service for a while. Well, if you own the airplane, why not fly it, right? Outside 7, 8 minutes per... No, I spoke wrong. 8 miles per minute. That's just rough. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to go ahead and set our descent at 290, which it is. We're going to start bringing the thrust back. We're going to do an IAS hold descent. Start bringing those thrust levers back, nice and slow. And Oakland Cactus 922, we're vacating 320 for 200.
Cactus 922.
turn him up just a little bit. All right, so if we're in an IAS hold, we can set what speed we want to descend at. So I'll go ahead with our speed bug here. I've got about 290, looks like 280 to be set. And as you bring the thrust levers back, obviously the aircraft can't maintain that speed. So if it's in IAS hold mode and you have a lower altitude set here, the aircraft will begin to descend. We also got to pay attention here. We are 56 miles. At 54, we need to turn right on a heading of 308. So I'm going to put that over here as a little cheater. And I'm also going to put that over here to double remind myself. It's going to be 308. And we're going to be tracking inbound on the Salinas, which is 117.3. We need to put that over here, which it is ready to be switched over. Awesome. So we are 50 miles, 4 more miles. We're going to make the right turn to 308 inbound. All right, I'm going to have to it's going to be tough to read the comments here, so I'm really going to try to focus on this. We don't want to get high on this approach. 53. Here comes 54 miles. So let's go heading mode, 308. We need to switch our nav1 radio to 17.3 for Salinas, and we are tracking the 308 inbound. There it is. Oh, lined up perfectly. Go right back to nav loc mode. Beautiful, beautiful transition. No jolting left and right across the course deviation. We know goalie is at 15 miles from Salinas. So we're looking good. 8,000 feet to lose. We got plenty of time. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. Let's go ahead and see if we can quickly get the ATIS if we are in range yet. We're going to try this on COM 2, 2695.
Altimeter 2996. Arriving and departing runway 30 left, 30 right. Visual approaches in use. ILS runway 30 left approach in use. VFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignment, hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Bravo.
Information Bravo.
San Jose International Airport. ATIS information Bravo. 1653 Zulu. Windcom. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 800. Temperature 20. 2.15. Altimeter 2996. Arriving and
get rid of
departing
that.
runway 3.
Okay, so 30 left, which is what we are planning on. Everything is looking good. $6,000 feet to go. 15 miles. That looks good. Let's increase our rate of descent just a little bit more. I never turned the seatbelt sign off. Oh well. Give them a little ding there. Our initial descent starting down. Folks on the flight deck, our initial descent into San Jose. Just, what are we? About 180 miles from the airport. We're touching down here in the next 25 minutes. Beautiful day in San Jose, partly cloudy skies, calm winds, temperature of 68 degrees. On behalf of this Phoenix space flight crew, I want to be the first to welcome you into San Jose, California. Alright guys, we are approaching 17 miles from Goalie. After Goalie, we're going to continue inbound on the 128 radial. Then we're going to track outbound 347. So I'm going to cheat over here.
Cactus 922, contact NorCal approach 121.3.
121.3, Cactus 922, sir. What did I say? It was going to be 347. That's the old trick I learned in the Metro liner, using that ADF as a course reminder. Did I switch over? Yes, I did. NorCal approach, good morning, Cactus 922, descending out of 23.8, flight level 200 with information Bravo.
Cactus 922, NorCal approach, expect visual approach rate 30 left, cross 0 low at maintain 8,000, San Jose altimeter, 29996.
All right, expect visual 30 left, and we'll cross Gilrow at 8,000, Cactus 922. All right, so we're going to cross Gilrow at 8,000 feet. We're going to do another descent calculation here. So if we're at flight level 200, and we need to be at 8,000 feet, we do the math. That's another 12,000 foot difference. We times that by 3. We get 36 again, so it's the same math. Oh no, I dropped my pen. About 36 miles, and then we're gonna need to give us some time to slow down at 250 knots as well. So we're actually gonna start down early. We're gonna start down. I'm gonna do a 45 miles from Gilrow to give us some time to slow down, and the fact that we're single pilot and streaming a 737-200. So I'm gonna start down 40 miles from Gilrow. You can see here it's 23 miles for this airway, so we need to add 20 miles, which is actually right about now. So we're doing it actually pretty perfect. So we're going to go ahead and set 8,000. We're going to continue coming down. Look at this, guys. 15 miles here is 20,000 foot restriction, and we're going to be pretty much right on it. Who says an Airbus pilot can't fly Boeing? We might be a little high. Nah, looks good. Look at that. 15 miles, a couple hundred feet high. Not even. 200. Hey, for this day and age, I'll take it. All right, we're going to continue descent. I'm going to continue bringing those thrust levers back, increase our rate of descent. We are 15 miles. After Salinas, we're going to turn right, heading 347, which I put over here. Let's go ahead and put our heading bug on 347 as a reminder as well. That eventually is going to identify Gilrow, which we're not going to use this radial to identify. We're actually going to put in the localizer. So, I already wrote the localizer down, didn't I? I think I did. Yes, 110.9er. So, over here in nav 2, we're going to put 110.9er as the loc. Perfect. And 117.3. I'm going to put San Jose as a backup over here, 14.1. So now I'll be able to get DME off of San Jose. I'll be able to verify Gilrow intersection, but I'm also going to have the localizer frequency 110.9er primed up and ready to go. So we're also going to put a 110.9er here in nav 1, primed up and ready to go. Approaching 7 miles. Whoop, sorry about that. Look at this, our Siva is tracking just on time there, 5 miles from Salinas. We are 6 miles with the slant range air. You can see as we decrease in altitude, the slant range air decreases as well. Obviously, we're not as close to it's not as far away from the VOR. 29096 on the altimeters. And let's do a checklist. Descent approach, seatbelt sign is on, anti-ice is closed, landing lights will come on below 10,000 feet. Altimeters are set. Radar altimeter, oops, I'm going to set that at 200 feet. Flight instruments are set. Hydraulic pressure and quantities are looking good, guys. Pressure and cooling doors are set. We haven't messed with that. Oh my gosh, anti-ice is still on. We're going to turn that off. We may have to turn it back on here in a minute, though. All right, descent approach checklist completed. We're going to get those landing lights on below 10,000. Okay, here we go. We're crossing over the VOR. Heading mode. What did I say? 347 on the course. I'm going to get a little speed brakes out. We have 23 miles to reach 8,000 feet. Let's go ahead and increase our rate of descent by nosing down at 300. Look at that descent right. Just increase the speed a little bit. turn there? 347. Let's set up an intercept angle about 45 degrees. As we come through 12.6, go ahead and stow those. And we'll be reducing speed to 250 knots. Here comes our CDI. Fly it back with the heading bug, get it turning the right direction. Loc capture. Perfect. Minimize the jolts. We're going to go ahead and get our speed reduction there, 250. Oh, not quite yet. Let's come all the way down to 10,000. 10 miles out. We've got 13 miles to go. We got to lose about 4,000 feet. We're looking good. Looks like DME2 is picking up Salinas. What about if we switch it over to the localizer? Nothing yet. So we're going to leave that there. We can identify from DME. So we're 23 miles out of the Gilrow. Okay, here comes 10,000 feet. Let's reduce speed to 250. A little bit of spoilers there. Look at that. Watch your ears. That's a thing of beauty. Man, every time we fly into California, it's friggin' cloudy. Every time. I'm actually going to keep the speed reduction. I'm going to take us back to 210 knots. Stab out trim, that's from my settings. Alright, here comes 10,000 feet. The lights can come on.
And Cactus 922 cross Gill Road 8000, cleared ILS, runway 30 left approach.
Gill Road 8000, cleared ILS 30 left approach, Cactus 922. Alright, so he actually said we were going to be vectored for the visual, but I guess we are not. We're going to be intercepting the ILS, so let's get our ILS chart up, guys. That's the wrong one. There's 30 left. Here's Gilrow. The IAF is out there. We got to cross Gilrow at 8,000. 9 for 8. San Jose SJC 114.1, so we actually missed a step. Let's come back to 14.1. We're getting 114.1. Here's 8,000 feet. We got a track inbound on the 306. So he should be giving us a radar vector. We're not picking it up yet. Alright, there's 23 miles. We're come left. Heading mode. And we're going to track 114.1. 306 inbound, or just about. We're going to have 110.9 climbed up in the DME2. We're not getting it. Yeah, we're way far out, man. Watch our speed there, 200. So, Gilrow, IAF. 126 inbound, or 306 inbound. Oh, we just picked up DME2. That means we're picking up the localizer. Speed is 200 knots. We're going to hold it right there. Got a donation coming in. Captain Sim donated $2. First time in your stream. Awesome to have you here, man. For the first time, you get to see an Airbus pilot fly a Boeing, but hopefully I don't make a mess of myself here. At 16.7, we need to be at 4,000 feet. It doesn't actually give us a gyro point, so let's go ahead and set 6,000 feet there. And we're going to go IAS hold. And I think we actually have it, so let's verify 110.9. Let's see if we are tracking now. There it is, 110.9. Okay, we've got it. We need to get down though. 6,000, let's set 4,000 for Cootie. You are Loke. The Loke is captured. Let's see, San Jose Tower is going to be 124.0. So we are approaching Clyde after Clyde. We're good to 3,600. There's 16 miles any second now. $16 from the Loke. We're looking good. Loke is captured. Let's see, below 230, flaps 2. The localizer is just starting to come off the bottom there a little bit. Below 225, flaps 5. Where's a good wing view? Here flaps 5 comes. We are going to need to get down, guys. We are a little bit high here. Let's go ahead and go gear down. And set 3,200. Man, this is a terrible vector. We are way high. We're going to set 2,700 for final approach fix altitude now that we are established. Keep on coming down. Keep on coming down, baby. Oh, don't go in altitude hold. Don't you go in altitude hold on me. What's our OAT? Oh, there's the runway. I can see it.
Xplane 22. You can contact San Jose Tower now, 124.0. We'll see him.
24-0. We'll see you. Cactus 922. Oh, I screwed up. I screwed up that. See that? Good morning, San Jose Tower, Cactus 922, ILS 30 left.
Cactus 922, San Jose Tower, wind 290 at 5, runway 30 left, clear to land.
30 left, clear to land, Cactus 922. Alright, here we go. Flaps 15, get those spoilers armed. I'm taking manual control here, makes it a little bit easier. Flaps 15 coming out. We're getting established. Man, he left us high on that vector, huh? I thought we were getting vectored for the visual. That turned out to be a lie. Fake news. That's alright. Autopilot disengaged. We're slowing to ref. We're slowing to ref. Flaps 30. Trying to set the camera just right. There we go. Hand flow and approach all the way in. I'm sorry, I've been, uh-oh, a little stutter there. I've kind of been ignoring the comments, so I apologize, guys. This is a handful. Alright, we are slowed up. We're a little bit slow. What's our ref? 129, we're 126. A little bit of power there. We're just going below glide slope. A little bit of power. There's 129. Speed brakes armed, gears down, cleared to land. Landing check is complete. Approaching 1,000 feet, stable. We are sinking 8. Runway inside a landing. Ref -3. Get a little power in. Get a little power in. We got 2 whites, 2 reds on the Pappy, looking good.
500.
A really long displaced threshold. Oops, one thing I want to do, let's go ahead and set auto brakes medium. There they go. Auto brakes are set. Oh boy.
Light slow.
Fell a little bit below the glide slope there.
200.
Minimums inside a landing. 2 whites, 2 reds. Sinking a little bit below the glide slope here as we come in. We got below ref, get a little power in there. Floaty, floaty. Come on, baby. There she is. Spoilers. "70 knots, manual brakes." Let's get those buckets in. Welcome to San Jose. Woo! Got a little hairy there towards the end. We got a little high, we got a little low. 145 feet per minute, we'll take it. And we'll go ahead and park it right here. He hasn't given us a clearance to cross. Flaps up, we can get these off. And Tarek Ectus 922, clear of runway 130 left at Kilo.
Cactus 922 on Kilo, cross runway 30 right, head straight over to Zulu into the ramp. You stay on this frequency. We'll see you next time.
All right, clear across 30 right on Kilo, Zulu, straight to the ramp. We'll see you, Cactus 922. All right. Lights coming on across the runway. APU spooling up. Zulu is the inner taxiway. We're going to take it on down here, make a right-hand turn, get into some of those replays. Welcome to San Jose. A little bit of float there at the end, but we're still within the touchdown zone. I'll take it. APU is available. Let's go APU on Gen 2 and secure engine 2. We're going to make the next left turn right here. Oops, I should have had these lights off when after we crossed the runway there. Sorry about that, Marshaller. Brakes are set. APU is online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to San Jose. APU bleed is coming online. Heats are coming off. All right, guys. There we are. 10% N1, we can get that beacon off. Oh, let's take a look at those replays.
Already.
All right, look at some of these comments here. I left a lot of the comments out there. I apologize. I was flying that in. All right, let's see if we get caught up. Tom Bordeaux. Oh, we already read about the 737-200. Hamed says, no idea. I left 200s a long time ago, now enjoying the 800s. But if they're still active 200s, they keep them well maintained. In my case, my country couldn't buy new ports due to sanctions. I gotcha. Canadian 732s are updated with new navigation systems, similar to 737. I assume NG, HD. Yeah, I would imagine they've had a retrofit there on that. Let's go ahead and run out here to the back. Let's go take a look at a wing view here. It's a nice view through the cabin here on landing. We're going to go right over here. Most of the time we had overhead problems, so now engines and engineers used to repair them. Remember, once we lined up 3 times for takeoff and back to the gate. Wow, engine overheat, I'm assuming is OVH. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Not a good day for the passengers, indeed. Bluemex says that's the only reason Canada students 732 because of the gravel kits. All right. No other plane that can be outfitted with them. I did not know that. Cap Kringles, HD Sim, how's it going? HD Sim, what up, Cap Kringles? Rutnut 6, that feeling when you want to see Ortho California, but it's cloudy in San Diego. Yep, I feel your pain, man. I feel your pain.
1,000.
TBM Live, who says Boeing pilots can't fly Airbus? Hey, that's what I say, man. Somebody challenged me in the last stream.
You don't forget to disconnect from network when you watch your replays, please.
I'm sorry about that. Disconnected right now. Thanks, sir.
Thanks, bud.
Whoops. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, man, somebody said in the last stream, it said, I dare you to fly the Zebo mod 737. And I said, well, let's take it up a notch. Let's fly a man's airplane. Let's fly a 732. Separate the men from the boys. Captain Sim, hello, Captain. Hey, glad to have you here, buddy. Jungly Sim, what's up? Just got back from the Rivals. Awesome stream. Good. It's the guy who uses the FMCs. That's right. That's right. Give Jungly Sim the... give him crap for using the FMC in the 7.3. Oh, you mean first time in live stream? Awesome, Captain Sim. Todd says, I'm a former People Express employee who flew on this bird many times in the 80s. A rate plane. Yes, it sure is.
800.
All right, let's go ahead and switch to the runway view here. Oh, we got to watch the blast fence. Listen to those engines. Woof. Look at that really long displaced threshold. Right here, I added a little bit too much power. Oh, it was almost perfect. Almost perfect. Just a little bit too much power there on that, but man, that was a nice touchdown. Right on the center line. Right on the center line. It's back. almost had it, guys. 1 foot. 1 foot. All right, a couple more. We'll back it up here. And then we'll call it. Let's watch it from the tower view. I bet the sounds are just amazing. Coming in over that super long displaced threshold. That's always a optical illusion when you land on an airport with a super long displaced threshold like that. I'm so mad at myself. We got so close to having a perfect landing. That's all right. That's all right. In the touchdown zone. We're still well within it. Beautiful. All right, last one from the wing view. I'll read some of these comments and we'll end up shop here. Right about there. Let's see if we can get to the wing view. Nope, there's the game crash. Okay, external to internal is game crash. Oh boy. Well, hey, we got to watch a couple of them, right? All right, have a good one. Rutnut6, he's out of here. Nice landing. Thank you, guys. Captain Kringles, thank you. I totally forgot Disconnect Pilot Edge. I just saw a comment too late. Kimchi, I was just in SJC, flew in from LGB. Awesome, man. Disconnect Pilot Edge. All right, guys. I sent you a donut on short final V1. Oh, Cap Kringles, there it is. I'm totally sorry, man. I missed that on the short final there. Cap Kringles, $2 for you. Love your streams. I'm learning something new every time. Cap Kringles, thank you so much, buddy, for your support. I apologize for missing your donation there. As you can imagine, it got a little bit hectic for me as we ended up in the ended up with the 7.3. They're getting a little high, but I apologize for missing your donation, man. Love all you guys' support. Thank you for supporting the channel. I hope you all learned something, had some fun today. I hope you have a blessed day wherever you're watching from, and I will catch you all on the next one.